Well, I think we experienced something really special today. And I think we often do it at this event where people really do speak from their heart, speak of what drives them. And Dr. Rice, obviously did today. And I know that she hasn't often spoken about faith, but we can see really what's at the core of her being. As she said, that faith is really integral with whatever she does. An odd comment, but the privilege to struggle and how that strengthens, the faith that we have. And out of that struggle, we become stronger. So some amazing words, and ultimately we're all going to go home, and we have a chance in this life, I should say, to experience that faith. But faith being at the center of her being, and I know that with Betty Ann it is as well, and with Mayor Reed also. It reminds me a bit of something that philosopher and mathematician Blaise Pascal said many years ago, and that is that God created each one of us. He used the word with a vacuum or a hole in our heart, and that hole can only be filled by God. And obviously that's clear in Dr. Rice's testimony this morning. But in life we tend to put other things in that vacuum. And it could be, career, money, the perfect body, success, whatever it may be. But life has a way of sweeping away those things. And when we have that clear foundation, when God is really at the center of who we are as people, we can deal with that, and we can deal with the challenging times that all of us face. So I appreciate Dr. Rice speaking so openly about her passion and about her faith. Well, we've sat back for this morning and mostly listened, and shortly it'll be our chance to participate as well. So in a few moments we'll have a chance to talk around the table, and I'll pose a couple of questions. But before doing that, I just have a few announcements. People sometimes ask, well, why don't we have the Silicon Valley prayer breakfast more than once a year? Well, as you may guess, it's a pretty daunting affair for those of us that are volunteers to help put this together. But to help answer that request, we've decided to have some other events, what we call networking events, and that is one of the purposes of the Silicon Valley prayer breakfast is to network, to get to know people. So we have, if you could pull out this, if you probably have this blue response card at your tables. We're going to be having quarterly networking events. It'll probably be more intimate, be a bit smaller than this. And there'll be a keynote speaker, usually a local business person or professional person, and then a chance to really network, to get to know other people and really carry on the conversation. So we do have one coming up on it's a Thursday, May 24th, and these will take place at the Stanford Faculty Club. And our speaker on May 24th will be Michael Yang. Michael is the founder of Become Inc., and he previously founded MySimon.com, which he sold to CNET for $700 million. So if you're interested in attending that affair, you might want to check that box or be on our mailing list as we have other of these networking breakfasts coming up. And also, I would suggest that you do fill out your name and especially your email address if you want to be notified about the Silicon Valley Prayer Breakfast next year. And I'd also say that that if you may be interested yourself in hosting a table, and table hosts are the people that we first promote this event to. The event is primarily by invitation, and this year 90% of these more than 700 seats here went to table hosts. And so we had about 10% of those seats that we promoted to individuals. So if you're interested, you might just write potential table host or table on that if you're interested in being notified. Also, you heard the testimony of the Christian faith of Dr. Rice, and if you'd like to know more about what that means, those of us in the leadership team would be very happy to sit with you and answer questions and talk with you about what it means to have faith in Christ. You can just check that box. And also, as I suggested earlier, we have some wonderful nonprofit organizations that please spend some time, especially if you're interested in volunteering. But if you don't have time this morning, you can check one of those boxes, and we will pass your information on to those nonprofit organizations. We don't pass it on to anyone else, but if you do want to find more information out about them. And finally, if you do have any comments, please write those on the back of the card. And you can just leave these on the table. You can leave them face down if you'd like, and we'll pick them up after and then get in touch with you if you'd like us to. Well, the topic this morning was leadership and leadership in challenging times. So we'll have maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so around the table in which we can talk about leadership. So I'm posing two questions, and I think the questions will be up on the screen shortly. But these questions for us to discuss around the table are, first, what in your opinion makes an effective leader? So what in your opinion makes an effective leader? The second question is, what did you learn today from our speakers which could help you become a more effective leader? So those are the two questions, and we'll take maybe 10 or 15 minutes around the table, and then I'll come back up close to 8:30 with just some final comments, and then a chance to dismiss us. So now let's have some time to network a bit and have some talk around the table.